All right, everybody. Welcome back. Today, I would like to discuss it's not an issue, but it's a cyclical occurrence. And it's possible that it's been going on since the beginning of human civilization with male and female, I might add. But what I want to talk about today is opposite sex expectation. Opposite sex expectation. I want to talk about females in particular. The reason I would like to focus on females in particular is because if I speak from a male point of view only, it would be biased. So, what I aim to do is to assist females with an understanding of how some males operate. To assist you with clarity on why you can't figure out why he's not doing this. I want to try to assist you with some clarity. Philosopher A.D. Jones. One of the main issues with expectation of another individual is it's almost a form of you wanting to control what they do for your benefit. It's almost like you want to control them with the things you think that they should do, when you think they should do them, and when they don't do them, it's a problem. Without even discussing it with them. This is prior to discussing expectation. So me being a behavior specialist, I've been in many classrooms, many institutions, many schools, shelters and things of that nature. And I'm going to give you an example starting from elementary school. When a little girl wants to gain a boy's attention, this is what I see in the classroom. Her not knowing how to properly communicate, whether it's from a deficit or just her not knowing, her being typical. The one thing that's consistent that would be, quote unquote, labeled as problem behavior is when she wants someone's attention, the function being attention, she hits the boy. But she hits the boy with an expectation of him turning around being nice to her because all she wants is his attention. The little boy could be focused playing cars, drawing a picture, acting like he's drilling a nail and drilling a screw and something. But once she hits him, her expectation is, hey, you want to play? But he feels like he's being interrupted as well as he's been hit, so he hits back. And her reaction is to hit back. And now they fight. And what happened? He hit me. She hit me, and all she was trying to communicate was, I want to play. Go back and look at the tapes. Oh, you walked over to him and hit him. But knowing if the kids had deficits, we understand. And what we would do is shape that behavior to teach her to properly communicate hello. But let's move on. The expectation that she had was different. The reaction was different. So therefore she got hurt and startled. As you continue to grow, you get in high school. And in high school, hormones, things of that nature, athletes. So a female wants to get a guy's attention. Usually in high school, 1, 2, or 3 things happen. One, she's walking toward where he's located and she's yelling loudly so he can see her. 2, she might start dancing in front of him. Not literally, but, to get his attention off of whatever he's looking at, to get attention. Again, the function is attention. Or 3, she might start a problem with another female that she's seen him speaking with because she wants him to know that she's more dominant, more pretty, and more loud, and willing to fight for him. More so than the other girl. All this with his expectation of liking her. But just like in the first scenario, when the little boy hit back, in high school, he might see that as obnoxious. He might see that as, you looking like a clown, or you out there, or, that ain't his style. But your expectation is totally different from a female's perspective. Even when it comes to parenting, daughters have different expectations of fathers. But in many cases, the father's just spending time with his daughter, trying to raise his kids and helping them get grown so he could do what he need to do. But, dad, he want to make his money by working, play sports, come home, sit down and watch TV and relax. But his daughter might have expected him all day to, when he comes home, they could play tea party, Also, like even in a blended family situation, if you have a man who's always been there for a daughter, since she was a baby or whatnot, and as the I guess stepdaughter would get older, she finds out who her real father is. I don't want to say real father, but the biological or whatnot, and she wants to meet him, of course, which is great, the understanding, find the lineage or whatnot. But the thing is, the expectation of the relationship she had with the father that she had prior to wanting to meet the new biological could change that relationship. But the stepdaughter or the daughter, let me just say the daughter, the daughter could expect that relationship to remain the same. But like I've said in my past videos, sometimes when you find, you lose. And in this case, you lose exclusivity or exclusiveness, which would mean you are his daughter. There's no other man in the world that's here to protect you, to help you. No other man that you would call daddy until you go meet the biological. And even if he hasn't been in your life or the daughter's life ever, and she's an adult, as soon as she see him as daddy, he didn't have to put in any work. And then she comes back to the stepdad or the father that's been there and expects him to be excited for her, to say, hey, I just met my dad. I just met my... Right. So it changes the dynamic of the relationship. Whether the daughter knows it or not, it's automatic. But she expects him to remain jovial to her findings. It's not a false nor bad expectation, but it's an expectation that's probably not going to be fulfilled, because naturally a man is going to change his position, whether it's to become more aggressive in the relationship, to try to overcompensate that now there's another man that she could call daddy, or he could dissipate his efforts making room for the biological. It just is what it is. But there's an expectation. To elaborate even further, what about the genealogy for when that individual has a child? You know, nothing wrong with having two granddaddies, things of that nature. But the dynamics change. It's now grandpa this and grandpa that, versus all the years coming up with the dad, the stepdad. He thought he would be exclusive. It just naturally changes the nature of the relationship. A person might be in a long-term relationship and say, you know what? Hey, if I just step out one time, I've been with him this long, I don't expect him to do nothing. So the person step out on him, thinking they'd get a pass. But the other person find out. And boom, divorce. They didn't expect that. Are you going on a girl trip expecting your dude to be cool with it? 1 is cool, 2 is cool, but 3 and 4? See, that's one of the main problems that causes depression, is unfulfilled expectation from another individual. And it's really not fair for none of us to do it, but I'm only speaking to the females today. Men, we coming too, so be harder on us. But for the women, you can't expect a man to do what you think he would do because you're not a man. That's really as blatant as I can say it. You're not a man. So you don't know what he would do. You can speculate, you can calculate. If he hasn't opened his mouth and told you how he would feel about something, oh, he'll be fine. How do you know? How do you know? You don't know. So, my suggestion, not advice, but my suggestion for the future to ease some future depression, do not have an expectation. Do not have an expectation of a man if you're not a man. It's a suggestion. I'm not telling you what to do. A girl that has sex, or I don't want to even call it a relationship, but a situation with a guy, she get pregnant. They been cool. He been feeding her, taking her out to eat, all that, buying her clothes, this, that. She get pregnant. She's expecting him to be a daddy and take care of it. But the reality is, once he finds out you pregnant, he ghosts you. See, you had how many? I've heard hundreds of these stories. Hundreds. That's the basis of me even discussing this. It's the same scenario. A false expectation based on what a guy told you or what he didn't tell you. Well, he told me, I believe him. He ain't gave you no evidence that he could do it, that he's gonna do it. So don't even expect him to do it. If he do it, great. Thank him for doing it. Or just appreciate that he did it. But don't expect him to, because you're going to get your hopes up and get let down. I've counseled many of women that talk about how they meeting these new guys. Oh, I just met this guy, he's nice. He's been calling me every day. This is the same. How many of y'all can relate to this? Good morning, beautiful. He texts me, good morning, beautiful. And at lunch, he texts me, how's your day going? Do you know how many females he's texting that to? That's part of his ritual. I'm just saying. Not all of them. But I'm a man. So I talk to men. I know a man's nature. If he's not married and faithful, the door's always open. He could be in a relationship and faithful. I'm going to get him their props too. But outside of that, I'm just saying. And you're going to be one of many throughout the year. So I'm trying to assist you in future heartache and depression. Because if you keep getting these same situations happening to you, they're going to build up. Then you're going to feel as though you're the problem and what's wrong with me. Then your self-esteem gets low. Then you start getting stressed. And if you stress, you're not making the best decisions. Then work is stressing you out. Then females at work stressing you out. Then you get the text, hello, beautiful. Now you really pissed off because you found out he was cheating. I'm just saying. To save you some headache, I'm going to just be 1,000 right here. Look, to save you some headache, don't expect us to do shit. Ask us to do it. If we do it, be glad. Look for us to do it, but if we don't do it, it is what it is. And if we don't do it, just move on. Because it's going to cause smoke. We gonna do it. To be honest though, the nicer you asked us, the more you make us feel that we need to do it, not for your benefit, but for both of our benefits. If you got kids for their benefit as well, that's the urgency. So I'm gonna just give y'all that. And in addition, just to be clear, when you have goals in finding or maintaining a husband, a boyfriend, or a male relationship, you should have standards. You should have minimal standards or maximum standards of what you would want. I didn't say expect, of what you would want your helpmate to be and to do. But what you have to ultimately remember is he is his own individual self. So he has not been put here to exclusively satisfy your beck and calls or your nominal or daily needs. He's there to assist by choice. But what about vows? You promise to have, to hold, to sickness and health, but not obey. Obey was not in there. It's a difference between obeying and doing. If you don't obey, there's some sort of repercussion. There's a positive or a negative punishment. Either you're adding an argument when it's not done, or you're taking away the yum yum when it's not fulfilled. Either way, you're punishing him. Men after a while recognize this. In the beginning, might slide past. But over time, they understand what's going on. Not saying that all women do it, but women will weaponize the yum yum or weaponize conversation or attention and not talk or roll eyes, which brings a negative vibe in the relationship. And men, we get over stuff pretty quick. You guys, well, you females, I don't want to say you females, but females tend to hold on and remember things, minute things that can happen 10 years ago that has no relevance to the situation or the argument that's happening today, and bring that negative energy into today's energy. And it really hurts the relationship. So another bit of advice: leave solved problems in the past. Don't add them on to the new bags in the future. That load has already been dropped off. Don't take that old, you went all the way back to that old argument, that old load from 10 years ago. You picked that 10-pound rock out of there, carried it from 2012 all the way into this argument in 2022 and put it in a new bag. The bag was already heavy, the bag of problems. Now you just added 10 more pounds of some old stuff that's already been resolved. So, and you expect him to want to argue or talk about that just because you wanted to. You expect him to. And when he doesn't want to engage in that, oh, now it's another problem. You're trying to avoid it. Here we go. You see how this expectation thing, without understanding of proper placement of expectation, Proper expectation would be, okay, who doing what around the house? It's not set, but okay, babe, I need you to take the garbage out, wash the cars, blah, blah, blah. You've discussed it, so there's an established expectation. In the behavior world, you often see kids frustrated, especially when we're baselining, you know, any type of educational piece for the kid. Let's say hypothetically, we let kids play in the room, but we expect them to clean up the toys. Well, if they don't know the expectation, they're gonna have fun until it's time for lunch. When the bell rings, they just want to leave because in the beginning, you have to establish expectation. Okay, guys. Now, before we start playing, in 10 minutes, right before it's time to go to lunch, we're going to start cleaning up. We're going to play the cleanup song, okay? Okay. So when you tell them, okay, guys, it's time to clean up, it's not, oh, no. It's not, they're running off to lunch. It's, okay, clean up, clean up, clean. And they sing this song and clean up the toys. Because it's an established expectation. So to help you out in your relationship, cease and desist with false and unannounced and undiscussed expectations, and get off the damn phone and dialogue and discuss expectations in your planning. It'll assist with you not having so much anxiety, headaches, and frustration because you expected this person to do something when you didn't even discuss it. He's not a mind reader. Well, some of them not. That being said, Philosopher A.D. Jones, peace.